Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. As you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, this is going to be a book haul. This is like the last half pretty much of 2023 and then the first 2 months of 2024. So this is about, I think is about 7 or 8 months worth of books that I've acquired. Because I think the last time I did a book haul was right before I moved. I could be wrong, but it's been a while. If you hear a noise or you see a cat's tail, that is because my cat Latte is like, why is there like 3 stacks of books just on the floor next to you? And I like to get into things, so yeah. But let's just get started. I have them in the order that I bought them, I think. Roughly, but I will let you know the book, where I got it, and maybe a little bit about these books, maybe not. I'm not sure. There's a lot, so yeah. So the first 5 were bought at Indigo when I went out of town to where there was a physical Indigo store back in August, and I bought 5 books there. So let's jump into those. So the first 2 are The Babysitter's Coven and For Better or For Cursed by Kate Williams. These are book 1 and book 2 in the series. I got them because they were $6 and the covers are beautiful. But all I know is it is about like witches, I believe. Yeah, basically it's about these group of girls that have like a babysitter club, and they find out that they have a heroic line of superpowers, magical rituals, and saving the innocent from seriously terrifying evil. So it's like they babysit but also have powers. So it's like kind of maybe like witches. I don't know. I love the covers. So yeah. Next is All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman, which is a dirty cover for some reason. But this I have read, and this is a YA fantasy about every generation. There is this like competition to see which ruling family of this town gets most of the magic, and this is the second book, and we are trying to take down this tournament competition thing. So yeah, I read the first book in 2022, never bought the second one when it came out, and so then when I saw it physically in person, I was like, I think I should probably pick this up to finish the duology. So yeah. The next book is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. All I know is this is a hockey romance that pretty much everybody loves, or at least everybody that I know that has read this has loved it. And I couldn't say no. I saw it and I was like, I really want to read that. I want to buy it. Have I read it? No. Have I owned it for like 6 months? Yes, we're not talking about that. And then the next book is Slingshot by Mercedes Halnwin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Again, I saw this, $6, beautiful cover. It is a boarding school in Florida, and that's all I know. I don't know, I feel like this will just be like a nice summer read, and so that's kind of why I got it. And did I read it when I got it because it was still summer? No. Will I maybe try to read it this summer? We'll see. The next one is, technically I already own a copy of it, but I don't own this copy, and I didn't buy it. So this is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, which this is, I believe, like one of the like original paperbacks, or like not the original paperback, but I think like one of the kind of like first ones done, like compared to what you currently now see. If I can get it out, like this is what you can like currently buy. This is what was originally done, I believe. And this my aunt actually bought me when we went to that bigger city. When I went to Indigo, we also went to 2 or 3 different thrift stores. And so this one she bought me. It literally, I mean, it would have only cost me $1, but she was just like, no, I'm buying that for you. So thank you. But I love this series, so I saw this and I was like, I don't need another copy, but I don't own this cover, and it's $1, and I ended up not having to pay anything for it, so yeah. And the next book, which I bought at a different thrift store, is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan, which this is Egyptian mythology. I had technically started reading this like beginning of 2023. I borrowed a copy from my library, started reading it, and then just didn't vibe with the writing at the time. But I saw it and I'm like, I really do want to read this series, so maybe physically owning it and being able to just kind of take my time with it instead of having a deadline of, oh, the book is due on this date, might help. So yeah. So the next book is A Soul of Ash and Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the 5th book in the From Blood and Ash series. I had to think about that for a second. And I have read this. I read it, I think, shortly after it arrived in August when I bought it. But yeah, a new adult fantasy romance that I love this series. So AKA I had to buy it. I love the series and I need physical copies, yet I think I don't own 2 of the books. I'll eventually buy them, but yeah. The next book is Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. This I had pre-ordered beginning of 2023, I think. And this is an adult fantasy, the first book in a series. Originally when I bought it, it was a standalone, but I knew it was going to become a series. Also, if you can hear my cat eating in the background, he's literally across the fucking room and I can hear him. But this is the first book in a adult fantasy series that takes place in the same world as Kingdom of the Wicked, and this is about the Prince of Envy. And can I just say, end pages are beautiful. Did I mean to read this as soon as it arrived? Yes. Did I literally misplace this book for a good month and had no idea where it was in my apartment? Yes. When I found it, did I read it? No. Have I read it? No. Do I really want to read it? Yes. The next books are ones that I hate to say how much I spent on these, but I will. I spent, I think, $150 Canadian on 3 books, and that is The Foxhole Court, The Raven King, and The King's Men by Nora Sakovic. These are the... Is it Dazzling Bookish Shop? Yes, Dazzling Bookish Shop. And they are just these like dust jackets for the like regular Amazon editions, but with sprayed edges. And so now I have 2 copies of this series, but it's one of my favorites. And so that's The Foxhole Court. And this is a new adult, like sports mafia book. There's book 2. And I love this series. It's one of my favorite series. So, of course, as soon as these were announced, I had to buy them. And there's the 3rd. I love these so much. And then there's what it looks like all as the spine. Did I spend way too much money on these? Yes. Do I care? Not entirely, because it's one of my favorite series. So, yeah. Next is King of Pride by Anna Huang, which is the 2nd book in the Kings of Sin series. And this is a, like, adult, slightly dark romance. And, yeah, I loved the first one, so I needed to buy the 2nd one. And I actually literally today just pre-ordered the 4th book. Do I own the 3rd one? No. We're not talking about that, but I loved this when I read it. I think it was like 4.5 stars. So yeah. The next 9 books were all bought at my local library's book sale that they had in, I think it was like October, like beginning of October. And I bought way too much. I went and been like, hey, I'm gonna get a book or 2, and then I bought 9. But I did get the entire 50 Shades of Grey series by E.L. James. And was this literally inspired by me and a few of my friends watching the movies. I just had a freaking memory to do with the second movie that was watched, and so me and my friends watched the movies, and then my friend Morgan had also read the books, I think shortly afterwards that, and she was like, okay, they're not good, but they're not bad. Like, she'd recommend me reading them just for kind of shits and giggles, so I bought them because they were literally $1 each, so I spent $3 on an entire trilogy. So yeah. Also, I think my friends that I watched the movie with, they are not readers, but my one friend did say that she might try to read it if I read it and then she reads it so we can talk about it. So we'll see if that actually happens and whenever I actually get around to these. Next is The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. And again, it was $1. I know nothing about this, but it was $1 and I've read one Christina Lauren book, I think, and I liked it. But I know other people who have read like a few different Christina Lauren books and have been like, oh my god, love the author duo, so you should read some of it. And I was like, okay, this is $1, might as well. Original price was $14.99 when somebody bought it at Costco. But I paid $1. Next is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I don't know that much about this, but I've heard good things about it, and so I saw it and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. Maybe it'll convince me to read it at some point. We shall see. But again, it was only $1, so even if I don't read it, I didn't waste too much money. And the next two are 2 books in a series, which is Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Days of Blood and Starlight by Lani Taylor. I have read Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I had borrowed the ebook, I believe, from my library in, I want to say 2022. That sounds about right, like beginning of 2022. Really liked it. Never continued the series for some reason. I think because it never, like, Days of Blood and Starlight never fit any prompts for any, like, readathons or when I did do my Bookopoly game, which I might bring back. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Or doing a TBR game. I want to, but I'm slumping, so we'll see how that goes. But I never could fit on a TBR, so I never read it, and then I was like, I need to reread this to then get to this, and then I saw these and I was like, okay, this is my sign to buy them, to then be able to read them back to back, and then I'll be able to borrow probably the 3rd book physically from my library, or maybe find it secondhand, or just somehow be able to acquire a copy of it and then just read the series, because I loved Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I think I gave it like a 4.5 or maybe even a 5. Like, I loved it. Like, I loved it. But did I ever continue it? No. But now I own 2 of the books, so yeah. And then the next books are, what is the order? Is Sanctum and Catacomb by Madeleine Rowe. I own the first book, which is Asylum, which it's like a horror thriller, like YA horror thriller. And then I bought that from my library book sale a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, maybe. And then I found these and I was like, am I gonna complete the series before even reading the first book? Yeah, because the covers are actually really fucking, like, cool. So, and I do really want to read these. I'll probably try to save them for spooky season. That was originally kind of my thinking of, like, I was like, oh, when I bought them, I was like, oh, I could literally read Asylum right now, binge through the series, and because it was like October when I got these. Did I do that? No, because I was kind of slumping and had other priorities at the time. So yeah, but like, I own an entire series because literally the other one is right behind me. So like, I own the entire series. Will I get to them? Who knows? The next book is A Crush for True Love by Stephanie Garber, and this is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is a YA fantasy, and I really liked the first 2, hence me pre-ordering the Indigo exclusive edition of the 3rd book, and I literally did not open the package of this book until like 2 weeks after it arrived, because I was like, I don't want to read the book. Do I really want to read the book now? Yes. Will I maybe try to get to it in the next few months? hopefully it's gonna go in my TBR bucket for like March, April, for like the springtime. I think I'm gonna just make that a like spring TBR, which I actually should probably start planning. So yeah. And the next two were literally the last books that I bought in 2023. I literally think I bought them. I one day randomly went into my local thrift store. I think my mom wanted to like go in there, and I was like, okay, I'll come in with you. And then I bought two books, which is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and the other is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I know that my friend Mac had read One True Loves, loved it, and she kept on recommending it, being like, read it, I think you'll like it, but I just never did. And then I saw it and I was like, okay, I've heard really good things about Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I own Daisy Jones and the Six. So now I own 3 Taylor Jenkins Reid books. So now I'm like, maybe I'll get to them. Maybe not, I'm not sure, but I figured buy them. They were literally, One True Loves was $5.50 and After I Do was $4.75. Plus I think they also had at the time like a 10% discount on books or something. So it was like a little cheaper, but that is cheap in my opinion, stating that, yeah, like you can tell they've been read, but they're not like horrible quality. So yeah. And the next 3 books are from 2024. So the first one is Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman, which, shocker, I didn't pre-order this, but I did buy it for myself beginning of January because I was like, I didn't buy myself much for Christmas, so let's treat myself. So I bought this. Have I read it? Not the physical copy, but I've read when it was being published on Patreon. But yeah, love Heartstopper, so of course I need it in my possession. The next book, nobody's gonna be surprised of, is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the Indigo exclusive edition, which has beautiful sprayed edges. I think all the editions do, and has a digital signature. But this is the 3rd book in the Crescent City series, which is a adult, like, epic high fantasy. And shockingly, I haven't read this yet. I'm still doing my reread. I'm about to start book 2. Am I terrified for this chunker and also just the content in it? Yes. So wish me luck. But this is when I pre-ordered back in, I don't know, like June or July of 2023, and it obviously came out at the end of January, so yeah. And the final book in this book haul is The Dare by Harley Leroux. Thank you so much to Sam from Yarn Reader for buying me this for my birthday. I love you so much, thank you. But this is a erotic Halloween novella that I fucking love this book. So when I saw it in the package, I was like, oh my god. So yeah, thank you so much, Sam. I did not expect to be adding this book to my collection so soon, and I'm so glad. But yeah, those were the books that I've hauled in like the last half of 2023 and then the first few months of 2024. Right now, money is just a little bit tight for being able to buy books. There's like 100 books I want to buy, but I have A, no space, and B, no money, so fortunately I can't, and even I don't have space for like half of these books. So yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts on them are. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel grow. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!